Welcome back to the SportsMax Zone. The Inter-Secondary School Sports Association, ISSA, the body which manages school sports in Jamaica, has accepted the apology of Peterfield High's Antonio Watson for the gun gesture he made while celebrating his triumph at the National Stadium last Saturday. Watson, the winner of the 200 meters final for Class 1 boys at the recent ISSA Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Athletics Championships, made the universal gun gesture. Then he appeared to fire blanks at his rival Brian Level of Edwin Allen High. On Monday evening, ISSA issued this statement. ISSA is aware that there is a public discussion regarding the hand gestures made by Antonio Watson after winning the 200 meters event. We note that in his post-race interview, Antonio sought to provide an explanation for his actions after embracing his opponent. ISSA also recognizes that an apology was made by the athlete, and we accept his apology in recognition of our mission to use opportunities like these as teachable moments for our student athletes to adapt socially acceptable behavior. As the organizers of high school sporting events, we are committed to honoring the spirit of sportsmanship at all our meets and games by all our athletes, and would like to remind them that there is a code of conduct to abide by and that ISSA is committed to supporting sportsmanlike behavior. We reached out to the ISSA president, Keith Wellington, who declined to comment, instead referring us to the press release. So George, I turn to you now. Of course, this press release coming from ISSA. Your thoughts, is this, enough? What are you saying?
I think it was a day late, but better late than never. I know the tone of the press release. It seeks to strike an even tone. It seeks to dryly say that, look, this issue is water under the bridge. Now, what I would have loved to see, all right, before I even go there, the value of the press release, is there value in it? Yes, because it is needful for the organizer to be able to say something about the actions of the young man, about the reaction of the public, the fact that this has been in the public domain, the subject of much debate and fierce debate, and reiterating what its own principles are, where the performance of student athletes at its organized competitions should be. That said, I think they missed a trick, ISSA did, by one, publishing the statement late. Two, there should have been the chance taken to also publish the code of conduct, meaning by this time, every person with an interest in school sports in Jamaica or outside should know what the expected standard of behavior of all students is. Now, the 2019 memorandum that we showed on the program yesterday gives us an idea of what students are expected to do and what the coaches, the principals and the coaches are expected to drive home in terms of the expected standard of behavior where celebrations are concerned. But even then, ISSA said nothing about the students being required to sign on to something, or even if each individual student doesn't sign on, a principal or a coach signs on representing the collective. So I sign as principal that my students will abide by this. I sign as a coach saying that this is the expected standard of behavior, and anything outside of this will be a sanctionable offense. And I go to that again because the chance was also missed, I believe, for ISSA to say persons who infract in this or that manner run the risk of this or that happening to them. I think that because school is an educational institution, the basic educational unit is the home, then the school, I think there should be a publication of the rules governing champs, about the conduct governing champs, and how if the rules are breached, what happens as a result. Because up to now, we are left to guess what the authorities should set down as punishment for persons who act outside of the expected norms and the expected rules. So I'm just saying that I think an opportunity has been missed by ISSA to really put down a marker so that even if students and coaches themselves were unaware, they would have been made aware now. And if their minds had become foggy, school coaches and principals, that their minds would have been refreshed about what students are expected to do do and what will happen to them if they fall outside of the expected conduct.
Lance, how did you read the press release? Did you see it as George did? ISSA missing an opportunity?
Yes, for the most part, because ISSA, they are the administrators of school sports. And I think what a lot of people are missing in this entire story is that we are talking about a schoolboy here. We're not talking about an adult.
Yeah.
And he is representing his school. And as I said on yesterday's show, I am not going to condemn the young man because he acted in a manner that he thought was cute and he was being a showman. Now, the problem is far deeper than Antonio Watson. Antonio Watson is not the reason why the Jamaican crime numbers are the way they are at the moment. Our problems are very, very deep. The fact is, there's a growing number, this may sound harsh, but there's a growing number of Jamaican people who find no problem with guns and killing people. So that is the context that we have to look at at what happened. We cannot have a schoolboy making the gestures that he did, and it goes unpunished or unnoticed. There's no rule in the ISSA sporting guidelines that makes it punishable. So as it stands now, they could not have punished him. But going forward, ISSA, as the governing body for school sports in the country, should now recognize that what has happened at Champs this past weekend and many, many, many times before cannot be allowed to happen. And I agree with George that they need to be more succinct in what happens now. It cannot be that, unsporting behavior, will not be tolerated or so on.
Make it clear.
Yeah, punishable measures need to be attached to these things.
May I say also, Mariah, that one of the difficulties with this particular situation is that you heard Lance say that Antonio Watson is a schoolboy. He is one of those rare things, a schoolboy who is an adult by legal definitions. Because you heard me yesterday tell you that the Child Care and Protection Act, and I made sure to check it 3 times before coming on here, just to be sure. A child is someone 18 and younger. The young man is 19, but he's still a schoolboy.
He can vote.
Correct, he represents.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he could have voted last year. Yeah, there you go. So I'm saying that is one of those unique things. But his youth and the fact that he is a schoolboy under the jurisdiction of people who are in charge of children makes this situation particularly unique. And I'm saying, ISSA, it is not enough to pronounce on the issue and hope that you would have helped to put the matter to bed by virtue of this press release. This is a chance that you should take to now publish those guidelines. Jamaica, this is what each student is expected to hold in terms of acceptable behavior and conduct at our championships. These are the rules. This is what happens if these rules are broken. This is what happens to the school. This is what happens to the child or the athlete in question. This is what we will not tolerate, and we are looking at these other measures to introduce to serve as punishment, automatic punishment for certain acts, so that persons aren't in the dark about, okay, if he does this, what happens? If she does this, what happens? This is that moment to do it, not 2 weeks down the line when we've moved on to something else. Don't let this moment wasted, and I'm sorry, the press release falls short of what I would have expected at this time, given the length of time ISSA would have spent ruminating on what happened last Saturday.
Well, 8-time Olympic champion Usain Bolt is pleading with the public not to persecute Antonio Watson. Bolt posted the following on his Instagram page on Monday. People don't condemn and chastise young Antonio Watson. It is important that we mold such talent so he can develop to maximize his full potential. Reason with him, yes, about his action, but don't crucify him. It's a learning lesson and teachable moment for all. Youths, be strong and remember anything is possible. Don't think limit. Lance, Bolt, of course, echoing similar sentiments as us, because we did say, not to crucify Antonio Watson, teach him. This is the opportunity for other students looking on to recognize that what was done, can't continue. How are you reading this?
Well, we had this response from Bolt on yesterday's show as well, and to be honest, I concur with what Bolt is saying, because he by himself is not the problem, and I quite frankly felt a little bit of sympathy for him, the way some people in social media were condemning him in very caustic terms. Now, you can say he deserved it because he shouldn't have done it. But we are living in a society where behavior like that is considered normal. I'm just saying because of who he is. He's a schoolboy. He was representing his school. He has to understand that whether it might be normal in his everyday life and people who surround him and his friends and, his associates or, just in everyday life you see on television and so on, it cannot be okay for this to go unpunished or unsanctioned.
All right, well, gentlemen, as we leave this segment, we are leaving the viewers with today's Olympic Corner.
In today's Olympic Corner update, World Athletics President Seb Coe says he is confident the Tokyo Olympics can be held in a safe way despite growing calls for the Games to be cancelled. Japan is currently battling a fourth wave of coronavirus infections, and Tokyo, along with several other prefectures, remains under a state of emergency until the end of May. Against that backdrop, a petition calling for the cancellation of the Tokyo Olympics has been submitted to organizers after garnering hundreds of thousands of signatures. However, organizers have outlined strict plans in the hope that the Games can be staged safely, including rigorous tests, trace measures, and restricted movements for athletes. That's it for today's Olympic Corner. Remember to watch the SportsMax Zone for your daily Olympic updates.